Long story short, I went from going into 11th grade, top 10 percentile, to graduating dead last. Last, zero. Was like in love with this chick and I didn't care to do school homework. I just stopped doing homework. I stopped going to class. During graduation, I walked across the stage and I was the only one that didn't actually receive a diploma. They made it look like it, you know, but I still had to pass like 1 or 2 tests. Back then, it's kind of funny. I was happy just living the simple life. No college, F college, get a 9-to-5 job and just be happy with the wife and, you know, the kids. But life didn't work out like that. In high school, I had this friend named Joshua Durham. I mean, we were good friends in school, you know, 11th, 12th grade, and then like we just started like doing everything together, you know. College came around. I didn't have a car back then. He'd pick me up every day, like, you know. It was that friendship where you're doing nothing but you're hanging out.
Josh was always a great kid. I mean, they played baseball together, they went to school together. He was always a really good kid. John and Josh became like this. He actually was more of a brother to him than his own brothers. You know, you get that sibling rivalry, and then you have a friend who is just like almost your soulmate kind of thing.
On August 6th, 2010, my buddy Josh called me and asked me if I wanted to go to the Onion Festival.
Just got off the phone with him yesterday. You know, I was gonna hang out with him yesterday. I ended up going to a concert.
I get home and I walk in the door and I'm dead tired, and you know, the police scanner's on, because you know, my brother has like a police scanner, and all of a sudden, you know, I was there for like 5 minutes and all of a sudden I hear this accident on this one road.
The Genesee County Sheriff's Office tells me speed and alcohol may have been factors in this crash.
And then the next morning I woke up, you know, August 7th. My mom calls me and she's like, hey, which one of the Ware boys died? I was like, what? What are you talking about?
He asked me to use my car, and I told him I can't, you know, I'm using it, you know. And he just called, I believe, yeah, he called Josh, and Josh came, picked him up. At the end, we just hugged each other goodbye like we always do. And I just told him to be safe, make sure you come back home, like I always do.
So, you know, first person I called to find out is Josh. His phone's off.
The crash scene now includes flowers and tears. Jonathan Brownell knew all the victims: Matthew Ware, Allison Galens, and Joshua Durham. Joshua was his best friend.
Baseball is his passion. Hell of a cross-country runner. Nicest kid you'll ever meet. Friendly, funny.
There was a little makeshift grave and a big board, and everyone was writing on it. I was writing, you know, just how I blame myself for all this, and I should have been with them because, you know, I could have stopped it and all that. And then I just remember I was gonna, like, I don't know how yet, but I'm gonna make you proud of me.
He couldn't even get in a vehicle with me to go places. I mean, it wasn't like that right away. He somehow trudged through the funeral. After all that stopped, that's when he stopped.
Obviously, I told you this room's redone. I used to have a bed on the floor over here, and I would, you know, just lay there for sometimes days, you know, not being able to just get out of bed and go eat, or, you know, it was, I don't even like to think about it because I don't really want to send myself back into that state of mind.
I mean, you get depressed, you don't function well. But his was different because he couldn't leave the house, he couldn't leave his room. He felt like he was gonna die all the time.
Like, I didn't know what it was. I ended up finding out that I had developed like severe anxiety and post-traumatic stress syndrome.
Let's go to a doctor. Let's see a therapist. Let's do something. He didn't want to go to a therapist. We had done this in the past too. And, you know, And I had done that in the past myself. Therapy only works to a point. It really doesn't help you. I mean, everything has to come from within you. You have to get your own mind and do it somehow. And we ended up seeing a doctor. Of course, they wanted to put him on antidepressants.
I'm finally back in school. The semester's going great, but I'm still on the Xanax and all that, and I can't totally live a normal life. So it sucks, because that's all, like, that, at this point, that's all I want to do. I'm just like, I just want to live a normal life, just praying to God every night.
We believe here at Northgate that God is good to us, that He does bless us. Sometimes He allows us to go through periods of waiting and just hanging on. But even in those times, we hold on. Even if we get discouraged, even if we get, a little frustrated or just feel like we're up against it, even in those times, we hold on to a basic belief that God is good. And out of that basic belief that God is good, there's an inner sense of joy, an inner sense of peace, and encouragement and hope that as believers in Jesus Christ, we hang on to even in the troubling times.
So I ended up figuring out how to get off of the medicine. I would just like work out because it would calm me down, like, it'd make me feel better, Eventually I found out a way to kind of cope with the anxiety is Taylor Swift music. Come on, go back. There we go. Taylor Swift. This song sucks. T Swift.
Tell us what you're listening to.
Trying to find some Taylor Swift. Just found it. Maybe I'll hum some.
That change was amazing. It really was. To see my child who wanted to commit suicide and not be able to go through a day, to be able to, without drugs, without therapy, without anything, just have it in him to turn his whole life around. It was amazing.
Back then, like, every night we would go to the gym at Oakfield, and he was a big cross country and track runner. And then, after, he passed away, I kind of incorporated the cardio for him, and then, I'd lift my weights and he wasn't there to run his cardio, so then my body started changing, and I started like getting these like rips, like abs, and I was like, oh shit, I'm liking it.
When it really took off is one of his buddies had talked him into doing a fitness show in Rochester.
This one guy comes up to me, one of my buddies at the gym, and he's like, dude, you should enter this competition. And I'm just like, no, dude, I don't look good enough to be in one of those competitions.
And I remember him coming home saying he was going to do this, and I was like, really? And he's like, yeah. He goes, there's going to be, don't even bother going because I'm not even going to, it's just for the fun of it. I want to see what it's all about.
And I literally just wanted to meet some people that were like me, that had the same interest in me, so I'm like, this is going to be cool, And didn't expect to place. Right before the show, I YouTubed how you like do the poses and all that. So I watched 2 clips and I'm like, all right, I guess I'll just do this. I remember I'm backstage like pumping up and all that, and all of a sudden I hear like my name called. So I go out on stage to, the 3rd place spot, because I'm like, cool, I got 3rd in my class, like, awesome. So then the judge is like, no, you there, you there. And I look down, I'm like, that says 1. I'm like, what? And I asked the dude next to him, like, yo, who won? He goes, dude, are you serious? You just won. So here comes this guy. He introduces himself, nice guy, very nice guy. And then he asked me if I ever thought about like modeling and all that. I'm like, yeah, that'd actually be cool, I'm weighing it out. I'm like, man, move out and be a, you know, fitness model in New York City and all that, or go finish getting my degree.
He didn't have any money saved. His bank account was negative $200. And I'm thinking, how are you doing this? How are you going to do this? So I took everything I had and I got his bank account above and I got him enough money to survive for a little while. And I just prayed all the time.
So I took my chance. Yes, it's a successful year in NYC, but like I said before, you know, it doesn't matter how smooth the road is, eventually there's gonna be a bump. And I literally got a bump. And I ended up finding out that I had an inguinal hernia. So I came back and I had the surgery, and here I am now. I've lost like 10 pounds. You know, the body's not where it was right now, but it will be. I want to gear more towards personal training because, you know, it's cool and all that stuff, like getting this, you know, and looking good and freaking changing myself, but it's so much of a better feeling when you can change someone else's life.
All right, the last question here. Is Josh proud of you?
Oh man, is Josh proud of me? Not yet. Not yet. I still have so much more to accomplish. Man, as a... you saved that question for... Nice. No, I mean, you know, he's not proud of me yet. I got too much more to do. But I can say that I would trade all my success to bring him back. And I mean that.